Hey guys, it's Danny. Today, as promised, we are doing the good news updates. I'm gonna show you some orchids that I think most of them are in bloom or in spike. They're doing quite well, despite the fact that some of them in the past were really not. You'll see what I'm talking about. Some of them that we didn't see in a while, and also one that we just worked on last week. So, in the background of my fading Tolumnia blooms, yeah, nothing lives forever, sadly. They're all going vegetative mode now, but it's okay. Let's start actually with the Phalaenopsis that we repotted. It wasn't a repot, it was just kind of rearranging in the pot last week. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check the video down below. We had a very dehydrated Phalaenopsis that had roots. They were just not growing where we wanted them to grow. And here she is. There is quite a difference. You might say it looks a little sickly. Well, maybe you didn't see how it used to look like. I'm gonna put some footage somewhere on the screen. I'll do this. I'm gonna keep this on the right side of the screen and you can see how it used to look like just a week ago. And yes, it's still not 100% healed, quote unquote, but it's looking so much better. And all we had to do was just make sure that the roots are actually coming in contact with water. Now, the freshest leaves are looking the best. As I was saying in a previous video, the orchids will always prioritize newest growth because it has more chances to be healthy and not damaged in any way. While the older leaves, you can see, even though they're stiff, they do still have a little bit of wrinkling here and there, but you know, they're very old. Probably they will yellow this year. Maybe by the end of the year, they will regenerate, or the orchid will regenerate its leaf. Can I talk English today? I can't. I'm sorry, guys. The orchid will regenerate its leaf system, let's call it like that. It will produce brand new leaves and it will most likely get rid of these bottom ones. It will draw the energy from them, so there is no point in cutting them. When they're all yellow and dry, they will just come off from the abscission point and yeah, everything will be okay. Also, I kept the flower spike because the orchid responded very well. She didn't get dehydrated more and more. She actually looks better. So yay, we saved the flower spike. Now let's take a look-see at the roots. If you remember, the roots were kind of thin and shrivelly. Can we see through the pot? They are now green and actually much plumper than they used to be. Look at that. They are actually absorbing water, and my guess is that yes, they will get adjusted to the new potted life. Because I'm not keeping this orchid overly soggy, my environment is also kind of dry, kind of warm. That helps me out a little bit when I try to transition aerial roots to potted roots. I'm a little lucky in this regard, but of course you can adjust or transition roots, aerial roots to potted roots, simply by making an airier medium and by adjusting your watering technique. Maybe just run some water through the pot rather than soak the pot. If you remember, we actually soaked this pot for an hour because I wanted those roots to be super hydrated, and it worked a treat. It meshes well with my environment, and there we have it. This orchid will be absolutely fine from now on, and I have no doubt we're gonna have much better blooms from her in the future. This is a NoID, by the way. I'm not entirely sure what it is. My tag here says Phalaenopsis tiny pink flowers, just so I know what it is when it's not in bloom. But yeah, there we have it. This is a flower shop find with the tiniest, most beautiful of flowers. Look at that. Very pretty. Another Phalaenopsis I'm very proud of, I have her for quite a while and she struggled for a bit, is this one. Phalaenopsis brother Prince High Tony. I got her in 2022, I do believe. Did I get her in 2021 somehow? I don't really know. I feel like I have her for 3 to 4 years at this point, and it has some of the most glorious blooms. As we can see, it's not very common that we have this dotted pattern on Phalaenopsis orchids. This is actually a novelty, quote-unquote, hybrid. It is a polychilous hybrid, and it does display quite a lot of polychilous traits, but I feel like it's blooming like a Phalaenopsis subgenus type. I don't necessarily think it needs a cool down, but as you can see, it does have quite longer flower spikes, and it's kind of a mesh of everything. It is a complex hybrid. Now, the problem with this one was that we always seemed to have some sort of stem rot. It wasn't necessarily stem rot because, you know, the plant would have died, but something would always happen to the stem, and I would always have to repot, remove some of the leaves and so on. It was just looking like this orchid will just kick the bucket any second. But for the past 2 years or so, it has made a full recovery, and look at that. Look how big it's getting. I was under the impression that this is a tiny, compact novelty hybrid. Well, I don't know about that. She's kind of big. So yeah, the flower spike got longer. Flowers, of course, will always stay the same size. But the orchid herself is actually growing pretty big at this point. We have a whole bunch of roots. She is looking fantastically healthy, and she's really, really vigorous. I was under the impression that it's a weaker hybrid, but no. This one is also a little bit fragrant. I wouldn't say it's the best fragrance of life, to be fully honest. It smells warm. That's the best description I can give you. I cannot tell you if it's sweet or fruity or anything. No, it's warm somehow. It's not something you'd smell and be intoxicated and be like, oh my gosh, I wish I could wear this as a perfume. No, it's weird. It's a little weird, but it smells warm to me. I'm kind of at a loss for words, which doesn't happen often, but that's how she smells to me. Just a warm house. It smells like a warm house. Does that make sense? If you have this orchid, let me know, what do you think about the fragrance? It's not very strong, so it's okay. You just detect it when you actually smell the flower. It's not bothersome. Don't worry about it. It's not pungent or doesn't really make you want to see your breakfast, if you know what I mean. It's not bad. It's just weird. It's not something you'd expect. I would expect something fruity because polychylas usually have a fruity scent, but no. Let me just sniff again. Maybe a little bit like carnations, but that's a stretch. It's just, it has a warmth to it, but it's not necessarily pleasant and it's not necessarily bad. I don't know, it's weird. But the flower herself looks very beautiful, very beautiful. I'm so happy this one is finally doing well. Well worth the wait, maybe, I would say, definitely. Very, very beautiful flowers. Okay, sticking in the realm of kind of Phalaenopsis, this one has been reclassified as a Phalaenopsis, but I refuse to call it that way because it's just not. It's just not. Or maybe, I don't know. This is Sedirea japonica. Oh, okay, the tag does not want to come out, and I do not want to damage or disturb this little princess. Sedirea japonica, you guys. Not one, but 2 flower spikes. Why? What? So, you might not know this. I don't know how many of you are here since 2013. I bet nobody at this point. I don't know. But I did actually have this plant in, not this particular one, but this species. It's a species. In 2013, if not 2014. It was one of my dream orchids that I've always wanted to have because the fragrance was advertised to be so amazing, and it actually is. It's really amazing. However, this one never did well for me. It has never rebloomed, and in the end it kind of fell prey to all sorts of pests, and she's not the most vigorous, or she hasn't been the most vigorous for me. And I've struggled with it for the past, not even joking, maybe 10 years or so. I keep getting it because it is actually quite affordable, and that fragrance, which is very lemon tart-ish, very beautiful, very like, I feel like my mouth is watering just thinking about the fragrance. Fruity, lemony, but not sour. It's a beautiful type of lemon cake, lemon tart type of fragrance. My gosh, I am like drooling over here. Beautiful fragrance. I've always tried to have it. It always kind of didn't do well until this one. And here's the funny thing. This one has actually been gifted to me, I think by Veronica. I didn't write. I think by Veronica, by my viewer, that gifted me a few other orchids as well. But this one is the highlight because ever since she gifted me this orchid 2 years ago or 3 at this point, this one has bloomed year after year. This is the 2nd year, actually, but it's blooming. and it's doing well. Let me just show you how vigorous it is. Ta-da! Yes, we're not gonna have the same amount of roots as one of those big Phalaenopsis. It's not that type of orchid. It's actually less of a root producer than your typical Phalaenopsis, but it's looking spectacular. It's doing great, and most of all, it's blooming. And I cannot tell you what I'm doing right with it, because I'm just keeping it in this room together with everybody else, and she's getting the cool down just like any other Phalaenopsis. She's on my southern window but behind some Cattleyas, because I thought maybe if it sits by the window it gets more of a cool down, but my Phalaenopsis bloomed as well. I don't know, I didn't move her since last year. She's next to the window, but she doesn't really receive like much direct sunshine because she's behind a Cattleya, but she does receive pretty bright light, and whatever everybody else is receiving in this room, she's getting as well. And hey presto, 2 flower spikes. I don't understand it. I can't understand it, but I'm so happy. I don't know what I'm doing different. I wish I could pinpoint it. I wish I could tell you, yes, chill it to 10 degrees Celsius. No, it did not get to 10 degrees Celsius here. It got to 18, let's say, 18 degrees Celsius, but not lower than that. I don't know what I'm doing with this one, but here she is, and I'm so happy. You know, we have a saying in my country, if somebody gives you a plant in good faith and with goodwill and good intentions, it will thrive. If not, it will not. You know, it's just a superstition. I'm not looking into these things. I'm not the type, but I think it's funny. And when it tickles me a little bit, I like to think that this plant has been gifted to me with the best intentions of the world, and that's why it's blooming for me and it's doing so well. And trust me when I tell you, it's my 5th or so Sedirea, and this one is finally doing well. So thank you so much. I have no doubt that you have a very good heart, and I'm so grateful for you sending me this orchid, and much more grateful that I didn't kill it and I'm making it bloom. Another orchid I historically do not do so well with from the blooming aspect is Neofinetia. I do absolutely fantastic with Neofinetia / or ex Vandas, those types of hybrid, because Vandas do well in my environment, but Neofinetias, I have a feeling they would prefer cooler environments all around, not only in the autumn, and definitely I have a hot environment in the summertime. But this Neofinetia, can we see, is producing 2 little flower spikes that are pourable. They are mediocre, not even mediocre, they are poor, they're horrible. But it's doing good, it's blooming, so I'll take it. This is Neofinetia falcata nishidemiako. It is a variegated Neofinetia, and I do really like how it looks like as it is, as a plant. That's why, you know, I'm keeping it. It's beautiful. Vegetatively, Neofinetias do well for me. They grow green and nice, and they don't get sick. They actually grow very well, probably because it is so warm, but they have issues blooming. Again, probably because it is so warm. So I was considering this year to put her outside, but then I kind of changed my mind because she looks so beautiful vegetatively. No patches on the leaves, no splotches, no anything. She looks like a little jewel. I really like her. And there we have it. She's producing the poorest blooming of life, but it is a bloom nonetheless, and I'll take it. I have already made my peace with this orchid that I'm just gonna have her as quote-unquote decoration, in the sense that I'm just gonna enjoy the foliage, the beautiful variegation and the shape, and also the roots. Look at that. She is looking grand, and she's doing so well vegetatively, and that's how I'm gonna enjoy her. If she decides to throw out 1 or 2 blooms, I'm not gonna say no. But I think, generally speaking, Neofinetias are not the best suited for my environment, and I'm not gonna keep my AC on like 24 degrees Celsius in the summer, sorry. This room stays at 28-29 degrees Celsius, and that's okay for all of my plants, pretty much. I tend to focus on hotter growing orchids, and yeah, these ones are just not very suited for me. That's why I didn't buy too many of them. But this one is a joy to keep, and yeah, I didn't do anything special to it. She just received whatever this room received. She's putting out 2 little flower spikes here. One of them I see only has one bud. It's such a poor flowering, but it is a flowering nonetheless, and I'll take it. And the orchid is just so beautiful. She is a low jewel. I really like her. And the last orchid that I'm going to show you, I'm so happy and so proud of this one. This is an orchid, again, I used to have at the beginnings of my YouTube channel, maybe even in 2013, if not 2014 at most. This is an Encyclia cordillera / atropurpurea. I do believe they're the same thing. I'm gonna double check and put it in a tag so you can check the text on the screen right now. I'm gonna figure it out a little bit, but I do believe it's the same. Actually, my first Encyclia cordillera was the cordillera variety atropurpurea. So it's a bit of a miss, but I do believe it's one and the same thing. This is supposed to be that beautiful Encyclia cordillera with the purple lip. All my life, I have seen the flowers of the one that has the whitish lip, which is really great. It's beautiful, but I personally prefer the one with the pinker or magenta lip, and that's what the atropurpurea is. I think the variety. I think we'll see. And mine they kind of fizzled out. I kind of had bad luck with them. This is an orchid that does well in my environment because it's just like Cattleyas pretty much. It is also compatible if you hybridize them, so it's within the same family, let's say. So it does well environmental wise. I just had a bit of bad luck with them. Currently I have 2 of them that I purchased more recently. My older ones don't exist anymore. This and I think the other one is the semi-alba version. This one is supposed to be the purpley version. I got her 2 years ago in 2023, almost to the day. And she is potted in the tiniest pot of life, and I have to water her every 2 to 3 days because she's getting so dehydrated. But look how enormous she grew. And of course, we have a first flower spike. When I purchased it, it was quite a young plant. It only had these 2 pseudobulbs, I do believe, and these 2 grew in my care. This one didn't bloom because it's not the biggest pseudobulb, but this one definitely is mature and is producing the most beautiful flower spike. Look at that. So I'm really hoping to see some really purple flowers from this one. This is a very vigorous grower, by the way, and if you get her established, she can grow very fast, very big in no time. And the party trick of this orchid is that it produces flowers that smell a little bit chocolatey. Now, to my nose, they're more of a chocolate with coffee or dark chocolate type of a fragrance. If the Sherry Baby smells like milk chocolate or vanilla chocolate, this one has that darkness to it, maybe a little bit of coffee in there, and it's not so sweet. It's a little bit more bitter, but in the good way bitter. It's still a little sweet. It's not bad in any way, shape, or form, and I think most people who have this orchid will agree the fragrance is absolutely delightful, but it's really more on the dark side. She's more mysterious. Now, the downside with this orchid is that I do believe it blooms once a year. I've had her for so many years, but you can see I didn't really have much luck with her, so I don't even know if it blooms once a year or twice. We shall see. We shall see from now on. But I think that I struck a gold with this one. She seems to be so nice and vigorous. And if she is also the purple variety, I will be even happier. So this has been my Encyclia atropurpurea. It is a species, by the way. And if you're into those and you like fragrant orchids that are very, very vigorous and tolerant, and you generally do good with Cattleyas, I strongly recommend this one. I think you will really enjoy the fragrance. It's beautiful, but not like sickening sweet. It's good. It's a very good scent. So check this one out. She's a very popular orchid. I don't think you're gonna have issues in finding it. And I'm talking a little bit more about it because I didn't show it too much all of these years. Here and there, you could see her in bloom, but I didn't really talk about her much on my channel because I just didn't have luck with it. But from now on, I think my luck will change because I'm really happy with this one. After the blooms fade, I need to repot her. If you look like on the side, you can see the pot has, it's not like straight anymore. You can see the actual roots just pressing on the pot inside, so she needs a repot. Maybe I'll take you along in repotting her, and yeah, stay tuned for the blooms. And for today, that is about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. See, I told you, we have some bad stuff, but we also have many good stuff. That's how it is in the orchid hobby. It's important to focus on the good stuff, and there are always good things with orchids. Right, so with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm losing my voice. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!